Oh, yeah, it's
Does that?
lovely, Lisa. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah, so welcome everybody. This is lesson number 11. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And what Lisa was just sharing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm thinking you're saying is how the practice idea for the day changes throughout the day. Like the energy that we have in the morning is different than midday and then in the evening. And by the way, that just before bedtime is a lovely time to even take a couple minutes, just a moment even, and then lying on bed as you're closing your eyes and going to sleep to repeat the idea for the day. And there's a section in the text that talks about the practice. First of all, we know it's an ongoing practice, but then it talks about giving sleep, our sleeping time at night, the same purpose, the same spiritual purpose that we have during the day. The mind never sleeps. The mind never stops. The body does. The body closes its eyes and we have this bodily rest, but the mind never stops. And so we supplant this idea, this practice idea, to work on us through the night, which is lovely. You might even start to notice your nightly dreams changing or becoming more friendly, kinder, less scary. And that's the goal, right? We want our dreams to become happy ones. We even start to realize that our nightly dreams are just a subset of the daily dream that we call life. And we're waking up from it all. And it's a gentle process. There's no alarm clock going off, there's no urgency. There's this gentle inner practice. And then, like you were saying, I think as well, just applying the idea to, for example, a relationship. If you're having a difficulty with a relationship, and that's usually how it shows up, whether it's a relationship to a person, place, or thing, it's our relationships that move us toward a place of peace and joy or keep us crazy and insane and upset. I think I mentioned early on, there's to give yourself the leeway to not practice perfectly. As often as you can, as often as the idea comes in, and then the idea becomes a helpful tool. It's just super sweet, super practical. We'll take practicality over any kind of demand. Today, we're going to start with the legs up the wall, and I thought I would take a moment and show you how here's an option for legs up the wall. If you don't have wall space at home, I know wall space can be a bit of a premium in some living spaces. You can close a door and create wall space, but then there's other things usually in the way. So here's an option. You have a chair in your house, maybe you have a couch in your house, some sort of thing that you can elevate your legs on. So imagine this stack of bolsters is the cushion of a couch or a chair. So lie on your back. Yep. And you're just going to put your lower legs up on the couch. Yes. Just like that. Pretty nice. There are many, many, many reasons for having your legs elevated, whether like this or directly up on the wall. I'll mention a couple of them today, but first, find your way into the space. You want to just practice like this?
Mm-hmm.
She likes it. It's a nice variation. You'll feel your spine move fully toward the floor. It encourages the low back to move toward the floor, which tends to be arched a lot of the time. And we want to regain or maintain the ability for the low back to have its flexion in addition to its extension. It's one of the nice reasons for the shape, is it softens the belly, softens the low back into the floor. Now have your arms out in a T shape. Good. Now we're going to test the shoulder. This will, for some of you, if this movement becomes is easy, you'll think, well, why would anybody have trouble with this? The cue is interlocking your fingers under your head. Test that a little bit. And if interlocking your fingers under your head here is too demanding or too pinchy on the shoulder, then bring them both back out toward a T shape. A little sensation in the shoulder is helpful. Too much is not. We're going to rest here. Slowly turn your head to the right. Lift the chin a little as you go, opening the throat, turning to the right. Find the limit or restriction inside your neck. Get to know that restriction here. Welcome it. Increase the turn a little bit. Just turn in to and from that point of restriction, not moving around it. And then rest. This idea of moving through the blockage is paramount. Is it a key? It's a keystone to the Avita yoga practice. When we bump into blockages in the body, we don't get frightened, we don't avoid them, we don't get aggressive with them. We meet them, and through time, we start to loosen them and move through them. It increases circulation, there's more range of motion, there's more youth. Why is it so key? It's the same principle that A Course in Miracles follows. It's in line with the Yoga Sutras. The first 3 Yoga Sutras state, yoga is now, it's ongoing. Number 2, we identify the blockage to the whole self. Number 3, as the blockages are removed and resolved, true self is experienced. That right there is the formula, the entire formula of A Course in Miracles. Slowly turn your head through the center. Turn, chin up, turn through to the left. Nice. That's it. Keep the throat open. Find the limit, find the barrier, turn from it a bit. Never with aggression. And then rest again. Bring your head back to the middle. Interlock your fingers over your right knee and bring your knee toward your right shoulder. Feel some compression on the knee, feel some compression on the hip. I'm repeating this shape a fair amount here in the beginning classes because it's a wonderful shape for you to begin to get the feeling the experience of what is healing sensation. You could be in this shape so strongly or adamantly that it would be painful and frustrating. We seek to maximize the inner experience, moving closer and closer to the peaceful self, rather than trying to perfect the shape. Putting some compression in the knee, the hip, and the low back and belly toward the floor. Healing, compression. Add the pressure that brings the greatest internal experience. No more, no less. Make it sustainable. Observe it with your mind. So the first paragraph says, first let me repeat the idea. Lesson number 11, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. This is the first idea we have had that is related to a major phase of the correction process. That is, the reversal of the thinking of the world. It seems as if the world determines what you perceive. But today's idea introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. Be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release. The key to forgiveness lies in it. Release your leg back up onto the couch or onto the wall. And then push yourself back and come out of the shape. I know you probably don't want to. Come out of the shape and have a seat against the wall. See, you could just spin around and sit against your couch. Okay, but you're going to sit up, lean against the wall, just sitting on the floor. Now you're sitting on the floor right there, about 3-4 inches away from the wall. Then sink back against the wall. So I'm taking out this idea that we have to have a perfectly straight spine. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And later here, I'm going to read a little bit about, because of that, we project value onto it, and we create all these false rules for ourselves. Like, I have to maintain good posture. So for now, we're going to break down that rule and that idea and soften now. Let your low back slouch a little bit. This is important for your back. It's important for good circulation. Okay, yeah, we want to be able to sit upright. And, you know, if you're presenting for a job interview, you probably don't want to just slouch down in the chair. You know, we can be appropriate for the situation. But let's give ourselves the opportunity to be in these bodies in lots of different ways. Yeah, so you have the right leg in front of the left. Your eyes are closed. You're soft against the wall. Slowly curve forward. Yeah, it may take a little effort to come off the wall. The knees may lift some. Yeah, just come forward, get a feeling for the sensation. We don't want a big stretchy feeling in the outer thigh or in the back of the leg. There may be a stretchy sensation for you, but we're not going to go after that. That tension in the outer thigh is a result of something deeper in the hip. So source deeply, not aggressively. Yeah, let the shape reach into you. Slowly raise up. Feel this little added space back to the wall. Yeah, no correction to make your spine straight or upright. Forget about that. Switch the cross of your legs. No posture will ever work if it has to be held or constantly adjusted. That's no healthy, no fun way to go through life. Slouch well and gently curve again. Feel your body adapt and adjust to the shape. You can observe the changes, which is very different than forcing the change or making the change. We simply want to get out of the way, let the shape do its work. That's analogous to the work we're doing in the Course. We want to get out of our own way and let Holy Spirit come through and do the work. It's the guidance, it's the peace, it's everything. We can't make love work through us. We allow the voice for love, the Holy Spirit, to work through us. Always through, not to. Slowly raise up. Soften against the wall. Keep your eyes closed. Make any adjustment you need to now to the shape to make it comfortable. Maybe you just stay here. Maybe you change the cross. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet together for a little change up. Maybe you stretch your legs out. Yeah, whatever you feel like you're moved to do. Feel yourself resting against the wall. Drop your shoulders. Keep your eyes closed. Because that's how this lesson is approached. Begin with your eyes closed and repeat the idea slowly to yourself. My meaningless thoughts, which we've established in previous lessons, are showing me a meaningless world. Okay, then you're just going to repeat this idea. Now, you may repeat the exact words or you may repeat the concept in far fewer words. Gently open your eyes, keep repeating this concept, and then look about, near and far, up and down, just glance around, and during the next minute or so, repeat the idea to yourself. Repeat the idea. My meaningless thoughts are showing me these things that I seem to see. There's no hurry. You do it without haste. And then it says to get maximum benefit, the eyes should move from one thing to the next fairly rapidly. No lingering on one thing too long. But the words and the idea are leisurely and unhurried. It says practice it casually. And then close your eyes. And repeat the idea once more to yourself. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And as an outer expression of that inner idea, bring your hands to your heart. Namaste.